In 2025, the Philippines made a powerful statement, not with warships, but with a new official maritime map. This map is not just a piece of paper, it is a declaration of sovereignty and a testament to the nation's resolve. This map boldly marks the nation's 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone, a boundary recognized by international law. It is a clear assertion of the Philippines' rights over its maritime resources. By publishing it, Manila sends a clear message to China and the world. These waters are ours. This act is a bold move to reclaim what is rightfully theirs. The map erases China's sweeping claims, replacing them with internationally recognized lines. It is a visual representation of the Philippines' stand against China's expansive territorial assertions. It's a strategic move, shifting the fight from the sea to the realm of law and global opinion. By doing so, the Philippines is leveraging international legal frameworks to bolster its position. President Marcos Jr.'s administration is rallying international support, making the map a declaration of intent. This diplomatic effort is aimed at garnering global backing for the Philippines' maritime claims. The Philippines is no longer quietly accepting China's narrative. The nation is actively challenging it, both domestically and on the international stage. This is a bold line drawn on the water, a challenge for Beijing, with the world watching. The international community is now more aware of the Philippines' stance and the ongoing maritime disputes. The next chapter in this tense saga is unfolding now. The world waits to see how this bold move will reshape the dynamics in the South China Sea. Names matter in geopolitics, shaping not just maps, but also the way people and nations see themselves and each other. The words we use for places can carry deep historical, political, and emotional weight, influencing international relations and even national pride. In 2025, the world took notice of a seemingly small but powerful change that rippled across continents and newsrooms. Suddenly, a regional dispute became a global conversation, as headlines blared and people everywhere tuned in. The Philippines has called its exclusive economic zone the West Philippine Sea since 2011, asserting its claim over the waters amid ongoing tensions with China. For years, this name was mostly used within the Philippines, a symbol of sovereignty and resistance. But in April 2025, everything changed when Google Maps, the world's most widely used digital atlas, updated its platform to display West Philippine Sea globally. This wasn't just a technical update, it was a statement seen by millions. Overnight, millions of users, from students to diplomats, saw West Philippine Sea on their screens. For Manila, it was a digital victory, a moment of validation that resonated far beyond the archipelago's shores. For Filipinos, this recognition was a powerful affirmation of their national identity and maritime rights. But for China, it was a direct challenge, a provocation that threatened its own narrative and claims in the region. This seemingly small change on a digital map challenged Beijing's long-standing narrative, putting international pressure on China to respond and defend its position. For Manila, the update gave its claim new legitimacy on the world stage, strengthening its diplomatic efforts and rallying support from allies and international organizations. Now, students, journalists, and policymakers worldwide use the Philippine term, integrating it into academic discussions, news reports, and policy debates. The name West Philippine Sea is no longer just a local phrase, it's part of the global lexicon. This shift is embedding the Philippine perspective in global consciousness, influencing how future generations will understand the region's history and disputes. China protested fiercely, insisting on the use of South China Sea, and warning that such changes could escalate tensions. But the digital world had already taken note. The impact was clear. The world was now talking about the West Philippine Sea, and the narrative was shifting in real time. The battle isn't just over territory or resources, it's a contest over stories, names, and identity. Who gets to define the map defines the future. With a quiet map update, the Philippines scored a major win in the fight for global recognition, showing that in the information age, even a name can be a powerful tool. In today's digital era, a single word on a map can shift the balance of power, influence international opinion, and rewrite the story of a nation. The roots of today's conflict trace back to China's 9-dash line, a sweeping boundary that has become one of the most contentious issues in modern geopolitics. This line, drawn with little international consultation, has shaped the region's fate for decades. The 9-dash line was first drawn in the 1940s, at a time when the world was still reeling from the aftermath of World War II. Chinese cartographers sketched it onto maps, laying claim to vast stretches of the South China Sea, a move that would echo through history. Today, this sweeping claim covers nearly 90% of the South China Sea, an area rich in natural resources and vital shipping lanes. The line overlaps the exclusive economic zones, or EEZs, of the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Brunei, and others, creating a tangled web of competing claims. The United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, was established to bring order to the world's oceans. It grants countries rights to resources within 200 nautical miles of their coastlines. But China's 9-dash line ignores these internationally recognized boundaries, challenging the very framework of maritime law. For the Philippines, this dispute is not just about lines on a map, it's about livelihoods. Filipino fishermen have relied on these waters for generations, and the resources here are crucial for local communities. The encroachment threatens their way of life and their economic security. In 2013, after years of failed negotiations and rising tensions, Manila took a bold step by bringing China to the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, seeking a legal resolution to the dispute. The 2016 ruling was clear and decisive. China's historic claims, as represented by the 9-dash line, have no legal basis under international law. The decision was hailed as a victory for the rule of law, but it did little to change the reality on the water. China rejected the decision outright, doubling down on its presence in the region. It has since built artificial islands, established military outposts, and increased patrols, further escalating tensions and militarizing the sea. The standoff now pits the principles of international law against the realities of raw power. Warships from multiple nations patrol the contested waters, and the threat of confrontation looms large. The Philippines and its Southeast Asian neighbors remain caught in a dangerous impasse, seeking a peaceful solution while navigating the pressures of great power rivalry and the urgent need to protect their own sovereignty and future. Legal arguments often erupt into real-world confrontations. In September 2025, near Scarborough Shoal, Chinese Coast Guard ships blasted Philippine vessels with water cannons. Filipino crews, on a humanitarian mission, faced violence and damage. Manila publicized the incident, exposing China's aggressive tactics to the world. Beijing countered with its own narrative, accusing the Philippines of provocation. These encounters are frequent. Chinese ships use water cannons, lasers, and dangerous maneuvers to block Philippine vessels. Each clash risks escalation, with the potential to spark a wider crisis. The Philippines uses transparency as a weapon, hoping global opinion will help deter further aggression. The stakes on the water are higher than ever. In August 2025, China announced a nature reserve at Scarborough Shoal. On the surface, it's about conservation, but Manila sees a strategic ploy. By declaring a reserve, China justifies blocking Filipino fishermen, consolidating control under the guise of environmental protection. This is part of a broader strategy: change the facts on the water without open conflict. The Philippines quickly denounced the move as a thinly veiled attempt to legitimize China's occupation. If China enforces the reserve, it normalizes its presence and authority. Manila faces a dilemma: challenge the environmental patrols and risk being painted as anti-conservation, or stand aside and lose ground. China's tactics blend law, politics, and PR, making resistance complex. The battle for Scarborough Shoal is now fought with paperwork as much as patrol boats. The Philippines isn't standing alone, it's building alliances. Its mutual defense treaty with the US is stronger than ever, with expanded base access and joint military drills. The annual Balikatan exercises now involve thousands of troops, simulating responses to maritime threats. These drills send a clear message: aggression could draw in the world's most powerful military. Manila is also working with Australia, Japan, and India, building a networked security architecture. Joint naval patrols reinforce the idea that these waters are international, not China's private domain. Diplomacy and military cooperation are Manila's twin strategies: deterrence through solidarity. The goal: raise the cost for China if it chooses escalation. At the heart of the dispute are clashing worldviews and national pride. For Filipinos, the West Philippine Sea is about sovereignty, livelihood, and dignity. Every incident at sea is seen as an attack on their rights and identity. China, meanwhile, views the area as sacred territory, rooted in centuries of history and national rejuvenation. The 9-dash line is taught as non-negotiable. Foreign rulings are dismissed as political interference. Each side sees itself as the rightful owner, the other as the aggressor. These irreconcilable narratives make compromise elusive. The conflict is as much about history and pride as it is about law. The South China Sea isn't just a regional issue, it's a global flashpoint. Over a third of world trade passes through these waters. Any conflict would disrupt economies worldwide. The dispute tests whether international law or brute force will shape the future order. The US-Philippines Defense Treaty means a clash could draw in nuclear powers. The region's growing web of alliances raises the stakes for all of Indo-Pacific. The world must decide: support a rules-based order or risk chaos. The Philippines' stand is a test for global governance and peace. The lines on Manila's new map are now lines the world cannot ignore.